Hey guys, welcome to the advanced tier of our Face Reading Academy. Now, this is the beginning point, the starting point of your advanced classical training into face reading. Now, even though we say it's classical training, it's not going to be like the old traditional style where you need to memorize the text and memorize the facial positions. But I will address some technical terms so that you see face reading from a full perspective. And so now knowing the classical perspective of the traditional art of face reading allows you to do problem solving by combining different types of readings together to form your own interpretation. Whereas when we talk about the basic module, the basic is basically, what you see is what you get. Whereas right now, we're going to look deeper, trying to understand the positions on a face in order to, come up with our own conclusion when we do our own reading, okay? Or reading for any person. Now, of course, like all training, we got to begin with the foundations. And the foundations to face reading is the 100-year map. Now, the 100-year map, it's basically the 100 points on a person's face. And with this, we know the stages of life. Okay, we also know how to manage risk in case we are doing a reading for a particular person, and immediately we can pinpoint, which age seems to be problem era, or maybe which age group seems to be the most auspicious positions. You can actually tell that person or help that person maximize the opportunities and, of course, minimize the risk. So this is a very, very important tool. By studying the facial features, the positions on the face, we can pinpoint almost down to a specific year in that person's life, whether it can be good or bad or what to do about it. Okay. Now, the 100-year points are distributed over the entire face according to the symmetry that you see on your screen right now. Now, the same chart, the same diagram is also available in your printable notes. So make sure that you print one out and go through this exercise with me so that you can actually pinpoint those points. Now, please, you do not need to be like 100% accurate to exactly where that point is, because people's faces, the size and where the position of the nose and the eyebrows are all different, okay? So you need to make an intelligent guess as to where that point is, but there is a guide. So what I'm going to show you is that guide, okay? So now the female face and the male face is somewhat different when it comes to positioning of the numbers. Let me explain. For the females, we always start the counting of the age from the right side, whereas for the guys, we start the counting from the left side, because left is yang, right is yin. Take note of that, okay? Now, before we begin, let me just show you the faces again. One of the easiest ways before we even include the 100-year points is to divide the face into 3 segments. Now, if you just look at this segment here, this is just the years, the section where the eyebrows up to the tip of the nose. This entire quadrant here is the middle section. So it serves 2 functions, okay? The years governs early childhood, so that's stage 1, okay? So that is your early childhood all the way until about 14 years old. Just take note of that. Make it easy, okay? So we group from 1 to 14, okay? Make it easy for you guys to remember, plus minus, okay? Now, just take note that in the traditional art of face reading, the age actually follows what we call the Chinese age. A Chinese age basically means your actual age plus 1. Okay, so if your Western age is 13, you're actually 14 in the Chinese age, because they actually count the 9 months in the womb as year 1. Okay, so the 9 months is actually counted. It's the time that your life is incepted, when your life began. Okay. Our calculation of our age right now in the modern world is we follow the time that we were born into this world, right? But in the Chinese metaphysics, they actually include the time that you're incepted, when you began life, which is 9 months before you're born, okay? That's why it's usually an estimate of plus 1. All right, so having said that, yeah, so just take note of this. The entire forehead up to the eyebrows, okay? The entire forehead up to the eyebrows governs from 15 all the way to about 30 years old. Okay, so it's about 15 to 30. It's somewhere around the forehead to the eyebrows. Just remember. Now, why we want to say this is because it makes it easy for people to actually pinpoint the points. Okay, so you may say, yeah, but I'm already 70 years old. Should I even care about the forehead? Yes, you do, because the forehead, besides governing the age of 15 to 30, it also contains different palaces. That will be in a different module. I will explain that. But for now, just go with the age points first, okay? So now from this eyebrows all the way to the tip of the nose, excluding the years, that is somewhere between 31 to 50 years old, okay? So the 31 to 50 years old, this is usually a very important time for many individuals, because this is the timing usually where, you know, they have to excel in their career, they set the pace for the rest of their lives. So it's usually around this segment, okay? So below the tip of the nose, right below all the way until the chin, the entire lower section, that governs from 51 until 75, okay? 51 until 75 years old. So now you may think, but I'm above 75 years old, then what do I do? Okay, then the fifth reading comes in, which is we have to read the side of the face all the way back down to the chin, okay? So that outer ring reading, that's the shape of the entire head, that will be from 76 onwards all the way to 100 years old, okay? So in total, there are technically 5 stages. Stage 1, from 1 to 14, we look at the years. And then stage 2, from 15 to about 30 years old, we look at the forehead. And then just from the eyebrows all the way to the tip of the nose, it was 31 to 50. And then below the nose all the way to around the chin, that will be until 75. And then from 76 onwards, it's the entire silhouette or the entire border of the face. That will be from 76 all the way until 100 years old, okay? So that is the 100 years in a simplified manner. Now, what I just explained to you, you don't need to have, whether it's right is female or left is male, it doesn't matter. The segments are the same. The difference is the positioning of the specific numbers, okay? So in order to position the numbers, then we go down to details, and here's how we do it. So we're going to start with the men's chart. Now for ladies, it's a flip of the guys' chart. I'll go through the ladies' charts as well, but let's go with the guys first, okay? So now, remember, this inside looking out, okay? Inside looking out, your left ear. If you're a guy, you look at your left ear. That's where you start. On the top, that's number 1, okay? So if you just try and write out 1 to 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's about almost equally distributed from the tip of your ears all the way down. Okay, now I will zoom into details shortly, but I just want you to realize how do you distribute the 1 to 7. Depending on the size of the ear. If you're a large ear, then obviously the positions will be a bit further, equally distributed. If you have a small ear, then obviously it will be quite compact together, okay? So it's just on the tip of the ears, all the way down to the tip of your earlobes. And then 8 is continued on the tip here, okay? So sometimes the picture don't do it justice. It's right on the tip. So right here, all the way down to 14, if you can see, from the top all the way down to age 14. So again, it is distributed equally. Okay, now, of course, if we flip this to the lady's chart, the lady begins with the right ear. So the right represents her age, 1 to 14, equally distributed. Okay, so we see that 4 is somewhere in the middle of the ear. Okay, so now, I know you're saying now, so what does it mean? Listen, I'll tell you the meaning later. Right? First, you need to know what the position entails. Okay, now there are names for this. The traditional Chinese names are in your notes, as well as the English names, translations to it are also in your notes. The names, some people, you know, when you learn from traditional teachers, they force you to memorize the names, okay? The names are irrelevant. You just need to know point 1 and up to point number 7. If you want to be specific, you can name the specific name, like the heavenly ridge, the earthly ridge, and so forth. There's a term for it, but okay, it's just, if you remember the numbers, it's the same thing, okay? So on the right side is 8 all the way until 14, okay? Now, I know on the text, the numbers separate from the point. Actually, what it means is the 14 is actually on the earlobes itself, okay? It's on the earlobes. It's not separated from the earlobes. It's on the earlobes, okay? 13 is on the ears. It's not outside of the ears. Let me make that clear, all right? So 12 is on the ears, not outside of the ears. So that's until 14. Now, if you look back on the guy's chart, okay, you see that on your notes as well. 15, okay, now here's a trick for you, right? It's easy to remember. Anything on the central line is same for the male and female, okay? Anything on the central line is same for both males and female. So 15 begins, now on the map, on all Chinese metaphysics on face reading, it says 15 is right at the tip of your hairline. It's not true, okay? 15 actually extends all the way up to here. That's why it's called fire star. The term is called forcing. Fire is on top. So if you touch the top of your forehead right now, see, we can't draw it on a two-dimensional paper. So right on top, there should be a slight protrusion, okay? That's your fire star rising. That means 15 years old, big change, all right? If it's flat, 15 years old, no big change, and possibly, you know, maybe the life is just very average or below average. I'll tell you more about the points later, all right? 15 actually begins at 16 on the other hand, okay? 16 begins like almost one finger space. That's why you count, right? 15, 16, 15, 16, 19, 22, 25, okay? 25 is one finger space above in between the eyebrows. In between the eyebrows is 28, okay? So one finger space before the 25, you put 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You should be able to fit 4 finger space, and plus 1, which is 28. That's why we say the best forehead is 5 finger space. We don't count 15 because 15 is on top, okay? So 5 finger space, that means it's equally distributed. Your youth is great. Your career palace will be fantastic. Basically, because your upbringing is so good, it sets the pace for the rest of your life, okay? So these are the points. Now, so 16, this until 28 is the same for male and females. You see, if a female chart, isn't it the same? 15, 16, 19, 22, 25, 28, okay? So the only difference is ladies, generally the point number 15, okay, from 16 is slightly lower, okay, so it becomes slightly more so-called congested. So normally we say 4 finger space would be perfect space for a lady. Overly high forehead for a lady will generally mean that she will become a very successful and dominating career. Now, it's not a problem in the modern society. It's not a problem at all. I totally agree with that. The only issue is, in the old text, they don't like it is because normally when you have a lady that is so powerful, then the compensation comes in terms that she needs to find a guy who balances her. That will be a bit difficult if the guy is also dominating and career-driven and so forth, okay? So normally in that case here, because in the old text, in the classical approach, they prefer that you know, one party is more dominant, the other one is more docile or maybe more amicable or easygoing. So it's harder for her to find a good marriage. That is the only reason why they say high forehead is not so good for females. But again, today's society is probably you don't even care about your marriage, right? It's just like career first, right? Yeah, I make my own living. That's fine then, as high as you want, all right? So that's the difference, okay? So things are different the way they read it today, all right? So let's go back to this chart. 15, 16, 17, left first for guys, 18. Now, how do you calculate this point? This point is the point of sun and moon. If you look at your text, it's called Yat Yut Kok, sun and moon. Sun and moon means father and mother, okay? So if you look at the 17, it is, look at the eyeballs. All the way there's a line up, and this towards the inner side of the eyeballs. Can you see that? Same thing here. Eyeballs, all the way up, right at the pupil, okay, all the way up on the inner side, that's 18. And if you look at 19, 17, 18 is somewhere in the middle of the forehead, okay, somewhere in the middle of the forehead, because this is the heavenly ridge. It is right in the middle of the forehead. So if you don't know where it is, if you just take this 2 and cut it to half, it's just slightly above that half, that's where the point is, okay? So these 2 points govern the parents, and of course 19 years old is very important. As you can see, 19 is the center of your entire forehead. Depending on how big it is, the center point is always 19, okay? That's age number 19. Now, I'll tell you the details shortly. I just want to know how to find the points first and then what it means shortly, okay? So from 19, then go back to the 20, 21, okay? And it goes wider, okay? 22 in the center. Then 23 is called the age of the city, Pinseng, okay? Why is it called city? Because the hair is wood, and there's a lot of wood around, so it's like the age of this, like a city map. This is the age of the city. That's why 23 and 24 is known as the Sky Horse or the Traveling Palace. Later on, when we talk about palaces, then you know, okay? So this 23, 24, again, 23 starts on the left for a guy, okay? And then 25, you move back to just 1 finger space above in between the eyebrow. That is point number 25, okay? And then where is 26? 26, this is called the marriage palace. You see 25, all the way to the left side, just above the tail of the eyebrows. This is called a marriage palace, okay? That's 26. There's a name for it called Ganmun, okay? So Ganmun means adultery palace, okay? Now, of course, it's not called adultery palace. It's called marriage palace. And when we want to see if there's adultery, normally in the ancient text, we look at this point here, okay? So anyway, we don't want to read all the negative things here. We want to read the positive things first, okay? 27 is the other side, okay? And then 28, right at the center of your eyebrows, okay? Between the eyebrows. Life palace begins at 28, okay? So after 28, 29 now, it's drawn this way, but where is 29? Watch. Left ear, 1 finger space on top. That's 29, okay? So a lot of people don't know where it is. They think it's outside here somewhere. No, it's not. It's not in the edge here. It is right up 1 inch above the ears, okay? Same thing with 30, 1 inch above the ears. Now for ladies, flip the number. So we begin on the left side first, as you can see. 17, 18, 19 is the same because anything in the central line is the same. 20, 21, 23 at the edge. Okay, now this is drawn a bit off. It should be wherever the edge of that, the corner of your hairline is, okay? So ladies sometimes have the hairline a bit down. Normally, very few ladies have all the way an M forehead, okay? So usually, it's slightly down. But 23, 24, then 25 is the same position. Then 26 on the right side, just above the eyebrows. And then 27, just above the eyebrows here. Then 28, same position as the guys. Then 29, inside the hairline, above 1 inch above. Okay, and 30, also 1 inch above. Okay, so now you cover up to 30 years old. All right, now 31 to 34, very, very important because they are called the eyebrow luck. Okay, 31, now it jumps. 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay, guys, begin with the left side. 31, 32, 33, 34. Now, watch the jumping luck. The eyebrows, okay, you see, unlike the forehead, most people cannot move their forehead, okay? You can't move the forehead, right? You can't move the center of your forehead as well. But eyebrows, we can move, okay? So movable positions in the face usually denotes easy changes or transformations, okay? So 31 to 34 is a transformative period of a person's life, okay? So some people can't move their eyebrows. They have to move both at the same time. But if you move one at a time, okay, that also denotes specifically around that age there could be enormous change. Some people can't move. You have to move both. Some people can move one at a time, okay? So which one can you move, all right? So for some people, you can move the left one. Some people can move the right one, okay? You can move one side, okay? That denotes the big change happens around that time, okay? I'll tell you more when it comes to eyebrows. So 35, this is interesting, watch. 35 goes inside the eye, okay? It goes inside the eye, all right? So with left eye for guys, yeah? For ladies, begin with the right eyebrow, jump to 32 on the left, jump back to 33 on the right, jump back to 34 on the left side, and then the right eye begins 35, left eye 36, then 37, 38, 39, 40 inside the eye. So what happens is, if you look at the eyes itself, there's the whites, okay? Now, how do you know if this is good or bad, right? Now think about it. Remember in the beginner modules, we talk about eyebrows, and when the eyebrows are bony, for example, if the eyebrows are bony, then 31 to 34 years old might have a problem, right? Now, let's use a very easy example, Bruce Lee example. Bruce Lee's eyebrow is very bony. Now, you know that bony eyebrows belongs to great fighters, people with strong characters, determined and drive. But the bone itself, sort of, it breaks almost the eyebrow, makes it too bushy, and it sort of pierces into the destiny palace. When the eyebrows are too bony, it pierces into the destiny palace, then the problem may happen around that age. Now, he was very famous from 28 all the way until 33 when he died. Okay, but 33 in the Western age is actually 34 in the Chinese face reading technique. Okay, so the problem happened at that time. So good and bad can happen at the same time. All right. So when you're doing advanced metaphysics, please remember, good and bad exist at the same time. Some people can have the greatest time in terms of their relationship in year, but in the same year, they might experience financial losses. Or maybe they experience a tremendous financial gain in one year, but at the same year, they also can go through a divorce or relationship problem, okay? The two can exist at the same time. So it's hard to say, what is exactly everything is good in life, right? So remember, all right, face reading just tells you that pinpoint that certain features might be good for this, but not so great in a different perspective, all right? So 35 to 40, that age group is between these entire left and right eye. So you look at the eyeballs. Now, you may say, but my eyes look exactly the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. If you look at your left and right eye, okay, your left and right eye can have slight differences, all right? One side may be double eyelid, one side may be not. So if one side is double eyelid, one side is not, then, 37 and 38 would be a big, change, okay? If 35, for example, there are red lines, all right, or is a bit sunken. Some people's eyes are sunken right here, sunken right in, right? Then you affect age 35, all right? 40 and 39 is the tail of the eyes. Remember I said before, pointing up or pointing down. Pointing down, 39, 40 are problem. Pointing up, it's good, all right? So some people have droopy eyes. They just droop, right? They droop, then you know at which age they will have a problem. So face reading is faster than parts. By looking at a person, you immediately know which age has a problem, right? And then you can study the parts to find out the details if you want to, all right? So this is a big change. Now, some people will say, how do you read marriage, right? When a person will get married. So this line here, usually it's a typical line where marriage age happens, all right? So now most people don't get married before 22 these days, yeah? But if they do, you think about it, it's usually 22, means 23 in the actual age, 25, 28, or you have to wait to 41. But if you are past 28 and you don't get married, then either you pass the full 34 age on the eyebrows, or you move into the changing luck. It's usually not 35 and 36. Most people is around 37, 38, which is the turning point, okay, of a person's life. Because you see, when it jumps section, usually is a big change. If you don't get married for a long time, suddenly big things change, you got married, that's when moving points happen, all right? So normally 37, 38 is the biggest turning point or change point for a lot of people, because eyeballs are the most constant moving feature in the face, besides the mouth, okay? See, mouth is the 60th years old. That's why people crossing 60 is a big thing. 37, 38 is the center of the eyeballs. And therefore, the most movement, most changes is around this time. And so if the eyeballs are not good, what do you mean by not good eyeballs? Well, 3 white eyes. 3 white eyes is successful career, but then again, can still have problem. Anita Mui, for example, has a 3 white eye. So 40 ends at the eye, okay? She, unfortunately, she had met a very major health issue that ended her life just before 40, all right? And so that is the timing in the eyes. So look at Michael Jackson, for example. Michael Jackson has 3 white eyes, okay? He's world famous, right? But his problems, primarily, the biggest issue, 35 to 40, okay? Around that time is where his major problems all happen, okay? So that's how you pinpoint certain events that could happen or problems that may happen by looking at the eyes. All right, so that completes until age 40. 41, it's right in between the eyes. We call this mountain roots. That's the name for it. If you look at the text, it's called mountain roots. Now, after 41, 42, and 43, it looks like it is the property palace or in between the eyelids, right? This is wrong, okay? See, the trick, this one, if no teacher teach you this, you probably wouldn't know. 42 and 43 is the entire eye socket, okay? 43 is the entire eye socket. On face reading books, they write 42 and 43 as if it is on the property palace, while it is, but the primary point is the entire eye socket. So again, for ladies, remember it's flipped on the other side. So for the ladies, the 42 is the entire right eye and 43 is the entire left eye. Again, this is Chinese age, which means 43 on your left eye, which means your actual age is only 42 in the Western age, okay? Now, then it jumps back to the nose. Remember, anything on the center point is the same for male and female. 44 and 45 is the center of the nose, upper and lower, okay? So you divide the nose to half, just above and just below, that's 44 and 45. 46 and 47 is the cheekbones, okay? 46, 47 for guys is 46 on the left, 47 on the right. For the ladies, flip that, okay, if you see 46 and 47. Now, sometimes if you're starting to learn face reading, you say, oh shit, man, I can't even remember the male and female, it's moving too fast. Don't worry, okay? Plus, minus, group it together. You know the cheeks, they represent 46 and 47, regardless of left and right, okay? That it makes it easy for you to remember, right? Eyebrows, 31 to 34, okay? Don't care left or right, you know. If the eyes, 35 to 40, right? If you just remember that, it makes it easy for you to do face reading, okay? So 46 and 47. Now, sometimes if you have a line that runs across, even a tiny line that runs across, small lines that run across, something small and you get a line to run across, what age do you think you have a problem? That's right, 46 or 47. So 46, what problem? A line that runs across, major problem. That's why we call this line the bankruptcy line, okay? So if you have a line like that now, bankruptcy, you think, oh, I lose everything. What is everything to you? Is it your marriage? Is it your relationship? Is it your family? Sometimes people lose money, but they don't lose their family. Some people lose their family, but they don't lose the money, right? So it depends. Now, how do you know it depends on what? Well, it depends on other features of the face. I'll tell you how to read that when we combine this with the 12 palaces, okay? So, so continue on. After 47, 48 is in the tip of the nose, and the same for male and female. So point 48, it's the wealth palace. It's also one of the most important palaces because this here governs wealth capacity. Okay, the central point number 48. Now, point 48 is quite interesting. Sometimes there could be a scar, sometimes there can be a mole, sometimes there could be, you know, a sharp point, sometimes it's dented, sometimes the color is not so good, sometimes the complexion is not so good, or sometimes it's basically yellowy all the time, you know. So 48 is the wealth palace. 48, 49, 50. So a broad, fleshy nose, your success comes at 48, 49, or 50. A pointy, bony nose, then your problems, when do you think your problems will be? If you have a bony nose. What is a bony nose? When your bones protrude. When you see a bone protruding in the nose. Well, you know it's going to be 45 or 44, plus minus a year. If you have bony cheeks, for example, not fleshy, anything in face reading we prefers fleshy than bony. Bony is still successful. The only thing is there's always a drawback. Fleshy is successful without the drawback. See the difference? All right, for example, eyebrows. Eyebrows, when it's bony, you still can be successful. The only problem is comes with a setback. You might have a problem during that age, okay? But if it's just fleshy, as is meaty, it's very different. Then you only get the good points and very few of the bad points. So the cheek itself, for example, it's fleshy. So you won't have a problem, right? But it's fleshy. Not so fleshy, it's bony until you get a line that runs across. Then you know at 46 you have a problem, or 47 you have a big problem, okay? Now you may say, but how do I solve that? How do I solve that? Okay, listen, this is not about solving it yet, but let me just address one of these things because some people are worried. Listen, when your happiness level change, when your mental capacity change, when your abilities change, when your skill set change, your personality will change. As a result of that seed planted, over time, your entire face will change from maybe a very bony face to a fleshier face, okay? So I have seen people who has bone on the nose, very bony nose, and as they become happier, as they let go of their ego and more compassionate towards others, their bony nose actually becomes fleshier. The bone actually is covered by a stronger, more stable nose. And I've seen, people's cheeks which are bony when they are young because they have no power, because they don't know how to do better. They basically have a weaker character, but as they become older, become much more of a leader, they serve other people, then the cheeks begin to grow, the flesh becomes bigger. All right. If I look back at my photos 10 or 15 years ago, I don't have these fleshy cheeks. I actually had just this bone protrude. Right. But over time, this part becomes fleshier. This part becomes better. It's because my character changed through time. Okay. Some people become worse, of course. Right. Some people may become worse. So your face reading shows you somewhat the future based on current personality. So don't worry if you have certain features that are not so good. Your nose can become fleshier, all right? In my younger days, I don't have a fleshy nose, all right? Because my younger days, I didn't do anything that actually impacts my career. But as I do the right thing, as I learn the business skills, the teaching skills, how to manage business, run a business, and over time, my nose shape start to change. I can tell you for a fact, I actually don't have a very good nose bridge back in those days. When I first learned face reading in my very, very early 20s, in fact, I was 20 or 21 when I learned face, I was almost flat nose right here. Okay, my 41 was really bad. So I already know at that time that 41 would be crazy. Yeah, so it's not so good. What should I do? All right, now I can't do cosmetic surgery. I can't just force the nose to go up. But what I know is this represents your self-esteem. When it's too low, 41 represents self-esteem problem. So over time, I started to train myself, started to speak in public, started to do things that enable the self-esteem to improve. And now it's much higher and much stable than before. Okay, so it takes time. All right, it will change. All right, so right now, if I want to impact my older age, whatever I do now might impact my older age as well. So this will change in time. All right, so don't worry too much about it if it's not so good. Right. So that comes up to 50. Now again, for ladies, it's just flip the right wing of your nose, right side of your nose is 49, and then left side is 50. 48 remains the same position. Now, 51, it's right at the philtrum. It's the same for male and female. That's 51 years old. This is so important because this is called Yan Sang Pit Keng Ji Lo, right? The lives, definitely you need to pass 51 in order to get through the lower age of your entire lower segment of your face. So if the 51 is very narrow, if you have a narrow philtrum or a non-existent philtrum or a line across your philtrum, some of us smile and there's a line that runs across, and then or there's some issues, right, that causes this philtrum to disappear or squeeze together, then you know what happens? That means there could be a potential issue now philtrum largely deals with health, all right? There could be a major health thing that you need to be concerned of or fix, otherwise it might impact the rest of your life, okay? Don't think this as an accident. An accident-prone face usually is bony, okay? Or sudden issue happen to a person is usually bony. Usually a fleshier, not fat, fleshier face, usually is illness. If there's something to happen, it's not so much an immediate or sudden accident that ends your life, for example, okay? Usually, all right? So 51, take note of that, okay? It also represents the position of stamina, okay? So if 51 is broad, your life force energy is higher, okay? So how do you know a person has got strong willpower, can fight, or basically even if it's half dead in the hospital, he or she can survive, is when the philtrum is broad. If the philtrum is narrow, first of all, no kids, or very few kids, or very difficult to have kids, and life capacity or energy is very weak, okay? So that's point 51. After you finish at point 51, then again for the guys, left side 52, 53, 54, 55. It's the same pattern, right? 52, 53, 54, 55. This is all the way above, okay? So imagine you have a mustache. It goes all the way above on the upper side of your lips, okay? It goes on the lips, okay? It's not just above, it's on the lips all the way down. Now, first of all, do you have lips? If you don't have lips, then what age do you think is a problem? No upper lip? No 52, 53, 54, 55, that age might have a problem. Again, ladies, it's quite simple. We just flip it. It's not so high up. It's on the lips itself, okay? On the lips. Now, sometimes there's a chip on the lips. Sometimes the lips has got no borders, okay? It's like almost as flat. It's got no defined borders. Then you know which age would be a problem. Sometimes it's very sunken. Sometimes the gums appear when they smile, right? Sometimes it's bony. How do you know it's bony? When you smile, you see all the bones, all right? You see all the gums. Then 52, 54, it's where the problems are. Now then, where is 55 and 56. 55 and 56 is the laughter lines, okay? You got to have laughter lines in the first place. So 55, 56 laughter lines for ladies, it begins on the right side. For guys, it begins on the left side, okay? So it's the laughter lines. It's not here. The drawing sometimes can be misleading. It's on the line. It depends whether it's a wide line or a short line, okay? So if it is long, it is right there in the lines, okay? So if you have a thin laughter line, that means 56, 57 is a big problem. If you have a deep laughter line, 56, 57 is good, okay? You need a good line. Then you have 59 and 58, okay? 58, 59, it's where? You know, at your jaws. That jawbone, that connected part, okay, that right at the joint, that's 58 and 59, okay? So it's right here for me, all right? So some people, the jawbone is a bit higher or lower, so it depends on where it is. So you'll be able to press it, that joint, that's your 58, 59 years old. Ladies, you just have to flip that again, both sides, okay? Now, then 60 years old is right in the center of the lips for male and female center, okay? So how do you know it's good? First of all, do you have a lip, right? Some people have no lips, right? And second thing, some people cannot close their mouth. Their mouth is open all the time. If your mouth is open all the time, what age do you think you have a problem? That's right, 60 years old, right? You see, you can see when the problem will appear. So if the mouth can close, that means your upper and lower lip somehow is able to close properly. Your lips can touch each other, and most of the time is able to close nicely, not remain open all the time. If you do that, then 60 will be an issue, okay? So after you pass 60 years old, by the way, 60 is also a big change, right? Just like the eyeballs, because the mouth is constantly moving and talking all the time. So the big change is around 60, 37, 38, for most people, all right? Generally is a big change for them. Some people retire after 60, all right? They change their retired life. Some people move on to something different, do charitable work and all that. So the lips will tell you, you know, whether or not that age is good. And then finally, after 60, you move on to 61. Where's 61? Just below the lip, okay? Just below the lip. Now, below the lip is the only part in face reading we actually like it to go inside. Because when it goes inside, your lips come out. If it doesn't go inside, your lips go like this, okay? You want it to go inside. This part is called Sengjiang, okay? So if it goes inside, it is good. This is the only part that we actually like it to go inside, all right? So we go inside, and inside, even so, touched it. It's still fleshy, even though it goes inside, because your lips is fleshy, so it's fleshy. It's not like, oh, there's no flesh in here. If it is, the support is good and thick, okay? By the way, also you can see whether someone is alcohol tolerant or not by seeing this part. If this part is a line or runs across, or you have a mole here, or it's too thin, you can't take alcohol at all right? If it's nice and fleshy and, you know, solid, basically these are people who drink a lot and they probably won't get drunk, okay? So that's 61, all right? So 62 now, again, it's almost like a flip side of 51 to 54, so it goes like this: 62, 63, 64, 65, lower lip, okay? Lower lip. So lower lip, remember, this lips, first of all, some people don't have lips. When you have lips like this, you're 60, you probably not 64 onwards, 62, you have a big problem. So it's go on the lips, 62, 63, 64, 65 is on the lips and touch the borders, okay? So there you go, okay? All the way up to here. And then you have 66 and 67. Where are they? Your dimples, okay? You see, now, some people don't have dimples. Some people do have dimples. By the way, dimples are not good, all right? So you say, oh, dimples look pretty. Yes, but not for 66 and 67. Once you reach the 66, 67, and you do have a dimple, usually that is the age where it's some issues, some problems, okay? So the dimples look great, yeah, look great. Of course they're great. It looks pretty. But until 67, 68, because sunken parts are not good in the face, all right? So remember that, 66 and 67. Then 68, 69, okay, 68, the corner, you see, just now was the jawbone. Now the corner of your jawline is 68 and 69 years old, okay? Corner of the jawline. So you flip this for male and female, all right? So after this, you go back into the center. Now you see the center, the chin has a round position here. Imagine the center of the round, that's where 70 is, okay? 70, point number 70, okay? It's the corner of the earth, the bottom line of the earth. This is very, very important. 70 and 71 is together, so it should have at least a finger space in between. The longer the better, all right? So the 71 goes all the way to the tip of your chin, okay, right in the tip of your chin. 70 is that round position right in the center, okay? So this is a important position. For male and female is the same. And then, of course, for the guys, 72, 73, and 74 and 75, which is the ending part of your facial reading. Now watch. Usually, this line here goes all the way across down here, just below. This is your laughter lines. On the inner side, the corner of your round side of the chin, that's 72, okay? This is 71, then it goes to 72, 73, 74, 75, okay? So this part, this here, basically is your 72 all the way to 75 years old. Ladies and guys, just flip the sides, okay? So finally, you go back down to the bottom of your chin, which is 76, okay? For ladies, it's on this side. They take 71, this on this side is 76. And now, for ladies, go on the right. 76, 77. Divide the face into 12 parts, okay? 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. So you go all the way. See, 81, 81, 82, 81, 82, 83. These points overlap, okay? They overlap. So which means point number 14 is where your earlobes are, is actually point 81. So 14 and 81. And if you reach to 82, 11 and 82, they overlap. And on the point 8 and 83, they also overlap, okay? Moving up the forehead, after 83, 84 and 24 overlaps. 84, 85 is around the same point, okay? And then 86 is now your forehead. Is it rounded or is it squared? Okay, is it flat? You look at the hairline, okay? The hairline will tell you, okay? 86, 87, 88, 89, right on the top here. Some are flat, some has a protrusion. That's why we say if the forehead is protruding, you live to a very old age until about your 80 or 90 years old, late 80s or early 90s years old. So it's all on the forehead, all the way down. Okay, same point, the 94, 95, 96, 98, 99. Okay, so you may say, how do I start with 1 again? Well, where's 1? 1 is point number 100. Okay, start all over again. But it's up to 99 years old in general. We call it the 100-year map, okay? For the guys, you count this way, okay? Anti-clockwise, on the right side, all the way down to the left. For the ladies, you count from this side, left side, up, all the way down back to your right, okay? So that is the 100-year map. So that is your 100-year map. Now, what you need to do is, I know it's going to be hard to memorize this. So what you can do is fairly simple. Group them, okay? Group them. So what are the groups? 1 to 14, years. 15 to 30, forehead. 31 to 34, eyebrows. 35 to 40, the eyes. 41 to 50, the nose, plus minus around the nose and the cheeks. And then 51 all the way down to 60 is the mouth, okay? 61 onwards, all the way to 75 is this lower section of your chin. And then 76 onwards is around the head, okay? The face shape itself, okay? So obviously a bigger face, longer life. Smaller face generally mean, well, the age are congested. So if the face is congested, one of the things is, for example, right, let's say my eyebrows are very close to my eyes and there's no space for my eyelids, then what age? That's right, 42, 43 might have a problem, okay? So what if my nose bridge has a bone? That's right, 44, 45 has a problem, okay? What if I have a line that runs across my chin? That's right, 46 or 47 might have a problem, right? A major issue or big challenge. What if I got low hairline on the corners? 23 and 24, right? What if there is a mole inside the hairline above my ears? That's right, hidden moles are good, right? So it's 29 or 30, it would be great, right? What if I have a receding chin? Chin that goes inwards. That's right, if I have a receding chin, the chin affects my 70 and 71 years old, right? So what if I got short laughter lines? Short laughter lines do not cross 56 or 57, right? So which means before 56, 57 might be a major problem. We'd be lucky if I cross 59, Okay, see how you read the face? It's, you know the points, it allows you to pinpoint the age. Now this is only the foundation. So what you need to do now is to practice going through these 100 points. You know, there are empty face diagram there. So try and write this down, okay? Write down on the face, on the diagram that is provided for you. And I want you to go and read on other people's face the points. Just look at someone's face and count 1 to 99, okay? I know it's not so easy, but try, okay? Hold the one on your paper, okay? Hold your document, go to someone and practice on at least 5 to 6 faces, okay? You need to do this now. Male and female, 5 or 6 faces, practice this. And when you're ready, then let's go on to the next module. I'll tell you about what the segments, what sections mean in the terms of the 12 palaces.